Hello.
Happy New Year. I thought you were going to do the Happy New Year with me. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everybody. That's exactly what we were going to do because we discussed that just a couple of seconds before we went live on the show.
Like, hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Sorry, Ben. Didn't mean to frighten you on New Year's Day.
Happy New Year and welcome along to Crafters TV. My name is Ben Moseby and as you can see, the lovely Debbie Fisher is with me as well. And we are here for the next hour to bring you an embossing folder masterclass, and we are really looking forward to this. I'm still getting over the Happy New Year thing.
I know, exactly. But yeah, New Year. New exciting things.
Yeah.
And starting off, yes, like Ben said, with a masterclass. I love a masterclass because it really does go back to basics. And sometimes that's just what we need to take a bit of stock, just have something to ease us into the year and just enjoy our crafting and then look forward to all the new stuff that's coming up.
Absolutely right. And there's loads to look forward to on the show today and indeed right across today, because if you go onto our website right now, you will find plenty of deals because our winter sale is now on. So check the web, have a good look around. Maybe you got a bit of money for Christmas and you want to spend that money. There's loads of great deals for you. And as it is New Year's Day, we thought we would do something extra special. We thought we would get Debbie to shout Happy New Year at the top of her voice to scare me. That was the first thing, and that worked really well. But we've also got, for today, triple points. Oh yeah, triple points. And if you use the code NEWYEAR22 when you're shopping on the website, you will get an extra 20% off that deal valid just for today. So make sure you do use that code when you're shopping. And as I mentioned, check out all of those deals as well as far as the winter sale is concerned. So lots to enjoy. Just to remind you as well, this is a pre-recorded show and all of the stock levels and prices were correct at time of recording. But like Debbie says, it's great to do a masterclass because we get to kind of have a delve into all of the tips and techniques of various items. And today we're going to be looking at embossing folders. So let's show you some of the deals that we've got on the show today that you can get stuck into. Because as I say, if you have got a bit of Christmas money and you're looking to spend that, maybe embossing folders is something that you've thought of. We'll go through everything in just a second, but we've got cut and emboss folders, 3D embossing folders on the show for you as well. We've got products where you get embossing folders and stencils. And Debbie, I think we always talk about this, but embossing folders are so super versatile, aren't they, when it comes to craft? And if we've got someone perhaps watching today and they're looking to start making cards, embossing folders are a great starting point, aren't they?
They are, for me, the sort of beginner crafter, but also they're the ones that are going to make your cards stand out straight away without any problem whatsoever. If we take a look at this, trimming into embossing folders, I love the idea of that. So we've got that beautiful sunflower, using watercolours on embossing folders. We don't generally tend to think about doing that, but it looks amazing. But also cut and emboss folders. These are relatively new to us. Only in the last few years, we never had the technology to be able to put a die cut into an embossing folder. And that makes it just incredible. So I absolutely love these ones. But then we're taking something to a whole new level, not only embossing, but having a stencil to create that pattern on the top and get what I would say a real professional look on your embossing folders. So we have so much to show you, and I've got 3 fabulous demos lined up, and it's going to be a fun hour, Ben.
Absolutely it is. Really looking forward to the next hour with our Debbie. And yes, let's take a look at some of the deals that we have got on the show for you. We've just selected some of our top picks from this show because obviously we've only got an hour to get crafting with you, but there's more goodies on the show for you as well. But we've selected some of our favourite deals to show you over the course of this hour. And we're talking first of all about your cut and emboss folders. And these really are superb. Now you're going to see a selection right here of the various cut and emboss emboss folders that we've got. With that slimline design, slimline cards have been so super popular recently, and we are giving you the ability to grab these cut and emboss folders with that slimline detail to allow you to create the most beautiful cards quite simply as well. As I've said, if you're new to crafting, these are a brilliant buy. Now, I'll go through all of the different folders that you can grab here. They are in a multi-buy for you. If you want to go individually, you can. £14.99 or $16.95. Platinum price is $11.99 or $13.56, but they're on a 3 for £33 or $38 deal. And these are your beautiful butterfly delights. And again, what you love about these and what you will love is the fact that one pass through is going to give you that beautiful emboss in the background, but also the metal that you've got in the folders here is going to give you that beautiful cut as well. And in this case, you've got those beautiful butterflies that pop off the embossing folder. It's a little bit, I always think, like the liftables that we've done previously, but you've got the detail of the emboss and then the beautiful depth of those butterflies with that particular folder. Same again as we bring you your flourishing flowers. We're popping up all the details as we go here. Again, the background swirls, and then you've got that beautiful cut bringing out the detail of the petals in those florals. Next up is your spring blooms. It won't be long until spring is here. Oh, that'll be around before we know it. And once again here, you've got the sort of spots and dots in the background. Again, bit of foliage coming through, and then those 4 beautiful flowers where you can lift out and just tease out those petals to give you a beautiful effect. We've got your interlocking circles here. Again, really different design on these. You know, if you wanted to perhaps take these and you know, make these into your shaker cards, you can do. You've got the entwined hearts. Again, beautiful design. Plenty of opportunity for you to get inky with these. Plenty of opportunity for you to layer these up as well. But look, beautiful with Valentine's Day. Probably the next thing that we're looking at, isn't it? Really, 14th of February. That one might come in very handy. This one's great. The interlocking squares. I remember when we first launched this, got a bit of a futuristic feel to it as far as I'm concerned. If you pop it that way, you've got a ghetto blaster. Anyone else see a ghetto blaster there? You know, a radio. Or if you look really hard at that, it looks like Johnny Five from the film Short Circuit. The guys in the gallery are saying yes. Debbie's looking at me as if I'm talking Greek. Well, it
actually reminds me of a little bit like a Tetris game, not Tetris.
Oh,
like a space, like those old sort of retro games. Yeah, like Space Invaders. What it reminds me of. It's got that sort of feel to it. Yeah.
I think it's a great embossing folder to have for sort of men's cards and kids cards as well, because it has got a bit of a futuristic-y sort of feel to it. I love it. Anyway, moving on. You've then got your square chevrons. Again here, these are phenomenal. You detail of the chevron around the outside. The 3 cuts there, so you've got the squares. Again, if you wanted to you know, maybe use your little peekaboo characters with these, you can do. If you wanted to perhaps use these as shaker cards, you can do. We've used these previously, and I've loved it actually where you know, we've just used one of the actual apertures there to create a shaker effect. There's so many things that you can do with these. So super versatile. More hearts there as well for your Valentine's, which is on the way, and then we've got your pretty polka dots too. So lots of different ranges of our cut and emboss folders, but we've kind of piled them all together for you in that 3 for $33 or $38 deal. Individually $11.99 or $13.56 if you're platinum. And don't forget, for today, as it is New Year's Day, you're going to get triple points. And don't forget that code as well. The code is New Year 22. Use that at checkout to get an extra 20% off your purchase. Righty-ho, it is time to go. So let's have a look at the other side of the studio at some finished samples with our Debbie.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the best way to really see what things do.
Yeah.
And our design team make just such incredible cards for us and samples. So this is what they're designed for. These are the slimline cut and emboss folders. You can see they have that beautiful element that they cut out, which I absolutely adore because that stays in in the cardstock, but cuts them out. Add your glitters, add your inks, they look absolutely amazing. Make them into shaker cards. I love this one, which is absolutely incredible. So having all your little die cuts in there as your shaker elements, adding your ink to those chevrons around the side, look amazing. But then you can turn them the other way and create just completely different types. Now this way round, it looks a little bit like footballs, doesn't it? You could do this for like the colours of your son's football team or your nephew's football team, and do different things. Using your inks in different ways. How pretty is this? And it couldn't be much simpler, creating a topper on the front of your card, matte and laying onto some silver mirror card, and then adding those inks into the centre. But what about showcasing them like this?
Whoa.
Doing a double whammy on one piece of card that's cut into.
Clever.
I mean, that's very clever, isn't it? And it's amazing that we can put all this together. And I mean, that is stunning. Valentine's, weddings, anniversaries, using all your different embellishments that you've got in your stash, using all your different sentiments, it's going to look amazing. You can even theme them. I love this one here.
That is cute.
It's so cute, isn't it? So if someone's maybe going on a cruise for 6 months, lucky them.
Yeah, right.
But, you know, use it as your portholes for your ship. There's so many. The versatility of these is off the charts, and I absolutely love them. So we're going to do quite a simple card. We're going to take ourselves a piece of white card. These have been designed to work on a DL size card, but as you've seen, you can create them on different sizes of cards, into box lids, cut it twice, do 2 different ones, maybe the florals on one side, the butterflies on another. We're going to be bringing in that beautiful hearts one, so it's the entwined hearts. So take this out. Now, the technology of these always wows me, because to have an embossing folder, but also that cuts out, is quite incredible, because on this one, you've got the sort of smaller hearts embossed into the side.
Yeah.
So what we are going to do, we're going to put our card through. Always we're just going to check, look, a piece of card's just come out of there, so just want to check there's no card. Oh, yeah, another piece there, look.
Oh, good job you checked.
Good job I checked.
Who used that last, eh?
Probably Sarah. Yeah, so we've got those cutting, where your cutting lines are, you always want them to go through the top of your folder. It doesn't matter, because I'm just using a white piece of card, but if you wanted to use let's say a colour piece of card, or you wanted to put mirror card in, which is coated on one side, you just need to make sure that the side up is where the cutting lines go down onto. So we're going to bring in our Gemini. They will fit through your Gemini Junior, but what you do want to do is to use your they won't fit through, sorry, your Gemini Mini, because they're just a little bit too wide.
Yes.
Now, because it's a cut and emboss folder, I always like to just add in my metal shim. It gives just a deeper impression and just works really well. And I found that it works well with all cut and emboss folders. And all you need is your top plate, your 2 cutting plates, and your metal shim. Simple as that.
Do you think these are a good product then for people, perhaps, I think, 1st of January, New Year's resolutions, new starts for people, if you're getting into paper crafting? Do you think cut and emboss folders and emboss folders in general are good for people just starting off?
Oh, so much so, because they're probably the simple way of crafting. I think they're that next step up to needing a machine, because die cutting is huge, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger. Dies get more intricate, they get more flamboyant, they get more where you get sort of a variety of different styles that you can do with them. Honestly, our team, their thinking caps are on constantly.
Yes.
It really is a case of getting all those different ideas and putting them all together. But what embossing folders do, they give us our basic laydown. But embossing folders have come a long way, Ben, and probably even since you've been doing shows on crafting, it used to be quite basic. Just we used to use them in the background and then cover them up, really, because it just added a nice detail. But nowadays we have embossing folders that become the front of our cards now. They become everything. We don't need anything else to put onto them.
It's funny you should say that, because I think maybe go back a couple of 3 years, embossing folders seem to have a bit of a resurgence, and maybe that was around the time that you were able to do more things with them. Because I remember you guys and other guys I've worked with saying, embossing folders are so underused, we don't use them enough. But now, when we've got designs like this and ones that cut and emboss, I mean, they're cards on their own right, aren't they, really?
Oh, and they've really come into their own. So I'm just going to use some ink. I'm using our pink tulip, and I'm literally going to go straight over the top because I want to pick up all that detail, but I want to sort of change my card a bit using those beautiful pinks and just bringing them in and guiding them over the top. Now, because we've got amazing offers on today, haven't we?
We have.
And our sales. So go and find some daubers, your ink applicators. They're going to be really amazing to put your inks onto. And then I'm going to change this up a bit. Let's go in for a darker one as well.
There's that code again, we just flashed up for you. Only usable for today. New Year 22 is the code you need to use at checkout. You'll get an extra 20% off your basket total. Don't forget, for New Year's Day, triple points for everybody as well. We're having a bit of a New Year's Day celebration here by giving you all of the good stuff. So triple points, 20% off with that code. And do just remember, this is a pre-recorded show. So our stocks and prices were correct at time of recording.
Pre-record?
What?
Not New Year?
Well, it is, but it isn't. Woo! Running like different timelines and stuff. How was your New Year's last night, Debbie? Did you have a great time? You're looking fresh considering it was New Year's Eve.
Oh, I know. I was up so late. Past midnight. I see the New Year in. It was amazing.
You saw the what?
See the New Year in.
See the New Year in. That's why I've got my glasses on today as well, because my eyes are so bleary from last night's party celebrations. I couldn't put my contacts in, so I had to get my glasses on.
Well, they weren't even open when you walked in this morning. I didn't even know you got out of bed.
What you like.
Right, so I've just got myself some pretty papers here so you can see how well. Look at the embossed detail on here, Ben. I mean, having these embossed hearts around your die cut and then having all these extra ones, they just look beautiful. So let's pop this card together. So we've got our DL size card. I'm just going to bring in my tape pens to make sure, we've got lots of new things coming up this year. So stock up on all your goodies. Stock up on all your essentials, that extra 20% off. So am I right in thinking then, Ben, that you get your normal discount from being like platinum, bronze, gold, and then you get an additional 20% off? Wow.
So yeah, that platinum price, for example, so this embossing folder, quick maths here, Ben. So £11.99 if you're platinum, so that would be another, £2.40 off that price, wouldn't it? So
that's amazing.
About £9.59-ish for platinum members.
You got to love a good deal at the beginning of the year, haven't you?
It's nice, isn't it? And the great thing as well with us, I mean, I know a lot of people go out for like the New Year sales and stuff, don't they? Things like Boxing Day sales. But here, you can get all of the great deals, so triple points, another 20% off of that code, and you can shop from the comfort of your own craft room.
Oh, I love that.
It's nice, isn't it?
I love that. Right, so I'm going to use some foam on a roll.
Here we go for the first time this year. Foam on a roll, foam on a roll, foam on a roll, foam on a roll, foam on a roll. Hey! Yeah! Woo! Good to see the new year in with a good old foam on a roll, eh?
We could not have that at the beginning of the year. I don't know after last night how I had the energy to do that.
I bet you were singing that to see the new year in, weren't you?
It was my song of the evening.
Yeah, no Auld Lang Syne for foam on a roll, foam on a roll.
It's my favourite song of 2021.
My task of the new year is to get Joe enjoying that song, because I
think he secretly does.
Do you?
I think he secretly does. I'm starting to think, I think it's a little bit of an act, and he's like, I love it.
I'm just going to keep singing it at him every time I see it, because I see him once in a blue moon.
I do.
Oh, yeah, good. Well, keep it up. And every time I see him, I'm just going to go up to him and start singing it at him until eventually he has to join in. He'll have no choice.
What's funny is it seems to be Debbie Robinson that switched to not liking singing it. So
what?
I think we need to get her liking it for 2022.
My TV wife?
I know.
That's
Can you believe
outrageous.
it? It's outrageous.
I can feel a New Year's divorce coming on.
I know. See, you picked the wrong wife.
Yeah. Why did I pick you, Debbie? I had the chance. You gave me the opportunity. And you picked Joe. Well, I was already taken, I think, at that point anyway, because, well, Debbie sort of picked me, actually. I didn't really have a say in the matter.
That's hilarious.
Just one day I came in, it was like, so hey, you're my TV hubby. Am I?
I think that was the time she got a little bit jealous because I took Joe.
Oh, so she just picked anyone else?
Yeah.
Anyone else would do. Who's the other presenter bloke here? Ben. I suppose he'll have to do. I wanted Joe, but we'll go for Ben. That hurts.
Right, what I've done here is I've got a sentiment from me to you. This is, Ben, look, you mean the world to me.
Oh, you stop it.
Oh, I know.
Stop it.
I know.
Just because I'm newly divorced now.
And what I've also done is I've brought in some of the flowers that we launched not long from last year. I believe it was around about November time, December. Yes, so these flowers are our watercolour flowers, and I love them because I think they're so great for using in anything that you've got. So I'm just going to pop these sort of sticking out into these hearts. So I'm going to use my 3D glue gel. So let's just grab this. I haven't got one of those tools on the end of here, and I really need one to wind that down.
That's a corned beef tool.
Get it, yeah, that's it, to get it to the bottom. There we go.
I always think they should give those with tubes of toothpaste as well.
Yeah, I always think they're really good for toothpaste, because actually that is one of my biggest bugbears.
Is it?
It really annoys me that people that squeeze from the top, like, why would you do that? Squeeze from the bottom, so it's always at the front. Yeah.
I know exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah, see, we should have been married, Ben.
We should have been. And you had the opportunity, but you chose Joe. It's like a New Year's Day episode of EastEnders for our UK viewers. Oh, dear.
That's so funny. Right, so all I'm doing now is we're just decorating our hearts, and I'm just popping these flowers into place just to make it a real spring, summery sort of design. This could be for Valentine's Day.
44 days to go.
Till Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Wow.
4 days. I just quickly calculated it in my head, with today, of course, being the 1st of January, so you've got another 30 days after this, haven't you? Plus your 14 for 44.
Well, there we go. So...
Well, your card's made anyway. For me.
Yeah, we've made it for either Valentine's Day wedding, Mother's Day would look nice for, and there we go. We've got our beautiful cut-in hearts, and yeah, would you like this for a happy divorce card to Debbie?
Yeah, thank you. I will. You'll need to change the sentiment on it though.
Let's not go upsetting our friends on the beginning of the year, Ben.
Oh, fantastic. And you know what I love most about that demo? Again, I think it really highlighted just how quickly and easily you can work with embossing folders. So if you're one of our regular crafters, welcome back, Happy New Year. These are the kind of deals that you can pick up if you haven't already got them at a great price. But if you are brand new, if you've made that New Year's resolution to start a new hobby, and paper crafting and making your own cards is that hobby, then these embossing folders are a great place to start. This selection here for you, so the cut and emboss folders are on a 3 for £33 or $38 deal, or you can pick them up individually. The prices you're seeing here, platinum $11.99 or $13.56. Check the web as well, because as I say, on this particular show page, you will find loads more goodies that we're not going to have time to come to on this hour show. We've just picked our favourites out, but there's more deals within the show, and then right across the website as well, it is our winter sale now on. Today, it's important that you shop with us if you want to pick up deals, because we've got a code just there for you. So when you check out, put in that code New Year 22, you'll get an extra 20% off the discount that you already get. So if you're a platinum member, for example, with the entwined hearts embossing folder that we're seeing here, $11.99 here in the UK or $13.56 is what you would normally pay. You'll get another 20% off that price when you enter that code. And don't forget, it's triple points too. Just for today, we are seeing the new year in with a bang here at Crafters TV. So get on those deals. Do not miss out. And as I say, If you've had some money for Christmas that you've waited for those New Year sales, today is the day to be spending and buying. Now, we've got another selection of embossing folders for you as well. And whilst we've looked at your cut and emboss folders, we've got the 3D embossing folders available for you as well. Now, again, these are available in a multi-buy for you. I'll go through all of the individuals. So they're 5x7 3D botanical embossing folders. So if you love your florals, then you're going to absolutely love these. And of course, with your 3D embossing folders, you're going to get even more depth and dimension. I always kind of think about these as having sort of like more peaks and troughs within the actual folder itself. So you've got, as I just go through these, we'll change the details as we just flick through. Those are your peonies. So you've got images that really are going to pop off the page. These are your gerberas. So whether you're going to be getting inky with maybe do a bit of watercoloring, maybe doing your pigment ink pads, maybe you're going to be using these in your darker colour cardstock. These are your roses, and perhaps getting crafty with your gilding wax. These certainly are going to really help you bring your projects to life. And actually, when you look at the sunflower, for example, if you may remember back at the start of December, end of November time, there was a craft along or a colour along with these, and this was the one that both Debbie and I had a go with as well, actually, and it was super fun to work with. So if you go back to I think it was November the 30th that we did that craft along, if you want to see these in action, really worth looking through. There's your cherry blossom. Also, the gorgeous tulips. These, by the way, all $6.99 or $8.95, £5.59 or $7.16 if you're platinum. Those are your hellebores. There you go, producer Erin, that one just for you. Their proper pronunciation, the hellebores. And lastly, well, you say Dahlia, I say Dahlia. Dahlia, 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 Dahlia. Dahlia. Let's call the whole thing off. Dahlia. Dahlia. Yes. I don't even know what I say.
I think I'd probably say both. Dahlia, Dahlia.
Depending on what day of the week it is. Yeah. Depending on what the dar of the week it is. Never mind. Any two for £12 or $16. Platinum is £5.59 or $7.16. And remember, you're going to get another 20% off that price with that New Year 22 code. And triple points as well. We're going to see these with Debbie, but again, Debbie, let's just quickly check. So we've seen the cut and emboss folders. Mm-hmm. These are 3D embossing folders. Yes. So silly question, but I'll ask it. How are these so much different to perhaps what we call our standard embossing folders?
Yeah, so a standard embossing folder is what we would call a 2D embossing folder. And what that means is it goes across, up, across and down again. So you get one level of height on there. A 3D embossing folder, it gives you sculptures because it gives you sort of like 3 different levels of embossing, which makes it even deeper and it really stands out. So it's very striking. So an embossing folder is beautiful because it gives you that pattern across. These just give you so much more and I love them. Slightly different platform that we need to use them. I love the botanicals. I think there's something beautiful about these because they fill the whole thing and they do make you the artist that you've always wanted to be.
Yeah.
Now, when you go into these folders, you'll see that they have really deep designs. We can sort of pick those up there. When you run your hand across them, one side, so this side is raised, all of this goes up and down all over. This side is quite flat. I can feel ridges that are going down. It's this downside that you always want on the top because you want your embossing to push up into your card. So this piece here, the reason I say that, so many times I've had a pattern piece of card and I've used the side that's had the writing on because you think that's the front of the embossing folder. Okay. And actually it's not always. A lot of it is the back of it. So where it's raised, that's where you want to put your cardstock because if you think of it, you're embossing into that card.
Yes.
The opposite way round, you'll get a deboss, and actually the deboss is nice enough. You get a lovely, some of the patterns are beautiful. You get an amazing deboss. Now what we're going to do with this one is we're going to use a different platform. Let me bring in fact, I can actually use my Gemini Junior, even though I've got my Gemini machine. painting. And what I'm going to do is take out one of my cutting plates.
Okay.
And we're going to have a cutting plate. We're going to have our magnetic, our plastic shim, and I like to add in my metal shim as well. I just feel like it just gives it that extra little push down. If your machine doesn't like it, it would just send it back out. But most machines will take that platform and it will give you a really deep emboss. As Ben was saying, we did do a colour along with it, and you can see the difference in the embossing. So try it. Try your embossing folders, put them in with their usual platform, but look how deep that, even on white cardstock, that is incredible embossing.
And that's the difference, isn't it? Like even just looking from the camera over the top there, you can see that straight away. Sometimes maybe the 2D, you have to like bring it up to the camera a bit, but that's
you can
striking.
see it straight away. That's the deboss. So even your deboss looks quite beautiful. So if you want to sort of almost cover it up, so you can see this bit is raised, and then we go to that deboss bit, which is beautiful. So each one would be lovely however you use them. Now what we are going to do, and actually what I completely forgot to do, Ben, you know what, I'm going to bring in another piece of card and show you what I was going to do.
What were you going to do?
Well, I was getting carried away with telling you about which side to go, but I wanted to take my ink pad and put it straight onto my embossing folder. So we're going to take this, and all I'm going to do is just rub that on the top.
Okay.
So just rubbing it all over. I'm using my pigment, but you can use your water reactive. We're just going to place that all over the top. Now what that's doing, as you can see, it's allowing the top half of that folder to have that on, and then on the inside there's no ink going through. And then what we're going to do is take our piece of card exactly how we did before, but this time we're going to run that through with that ink. So, and actually it's quite nice to have not done it the first time, because then you can see the difference and how you can create an awesome background. So let's pop that on.
Has this got a specific name, this technique?
Yes, it's called the letterpress technique.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, it's quite an old technique, and I think it comes from years ago where they used to do letterpressing and press that sort of ink into your cardstock. And then we've just sort of took that on. So I've left it quite, I've used a baby blue because I wanted that to have that background feel. So you can see we've actually got all that in the background, but then we've got our beautiful flowers showing through.
That's amazing.
Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to be bringing in our aqua pens. And this one, I did use this one on watercolour cardstock, and this one is on normal cardstock, our stamping cardstock. But it will still hold our ink enough. So what I am going to do is start off with sort of our yellow. So I'm using our yellow and our topaz, and we're going to take our pens and we're just going to scribble some of this onto the side. I love using the pens like this because you get your accuracy.
I can't say it now. Accuracy.
But also you don't use too much of the pens.
Yes.
Because if you use a watercolour pen onto your cardstock, it soaks it up quite quickly, where you get so much more if you put it onto your mat. So your glass mat is essential for when you're watercolouring, and always use this technique because it just goes further. Your pens will last you a long time. And then all we're going to do is pick that up. So I'm going to start off with the darker one. Now I've on my demo one that I've already done, I did use a watercolour brush. This one I'm using my sparkle brush because I haven't got a watercolour to hand. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to start just flicking up that detail into those flowers.
I got quite good when we flicking, didn't I?
Yes, and we did it when we did our craft along last year, Ben. We did it with the Illustrator pens, and you really did get that flick off to fine art, I think.
Yeah, it's being like even more lighter with your touch. I think that's what I found. More lighter with your touch than even you think. You can go even lighter.
Absolutely, and you can really do this. You can get some amazing details, and it just shows you it doesn't matter what you use, whether it's your alcohol pens, whether it's your watercolours. We can just start flicking that through, but look at the detail we get in there. It looks beautiful. So I'm going over with that lighter yellow, and we're just flicking that through our flowers, and it's just giving us a beautiful watercolour look. And what it does, it makes us become the artists that we aspire to be but can never be. I know I can never be an artist.
No.
I'm no good at drawing or anything like that, but I love that we can just use these techniques on embossing folders, because like we say, embossing folders have come a long way. You know, I remember the first embossing folders that I got, which were like dots. I remember they just were covered in dots on the front, or you get like a chevron one.
So they weren't literally just for backgrounds then?
Yeah, they just were for backgrounds. Yeah, never patterns or anything like that. Yeah, it was. It's quite amazing, really.
But that's it, isn't it? And we were chatting about this a few weeks ago, like how far crafting has come, you know, over the last 5 or 10 years or so. And now when you look at these embossing folders, 3D embossing folders as well, and from what potentially were items that you use for a background, I mean, this, adding colour, pop a sentiment on there, a little ribbon, little embellishment, you've got a beautiful focal point, foreground, you know, flower for your card, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah. They're just amazing. And actually what they get us to do is go out of our comfort zone.
Yes.
Because all we've lost, if this goes wrong, I can just chuck a piece of card away and emboss another piece and start again. Yeah. So they're good for practicing. So great. I think my pen is actually, you know what, I was starting to wonder with this pen. I've had it since the beginning and I really need to get myself a new one, and I think now is the time. So we're we're actually starting to run out. It's always going to happen eventually.
Run out on New Year's Day.
Run out on New Year's Day. Good excuse with that 20% off to get an extra piece.
See what you did there.
So I'm going to see. I did have another one. Oh, I have got a new one. Look, it's not. Oh no, that's a silver one. I do need to get myself a new pen. But anyway, if you carry on with that, I'm going to sort of let me just see if we've got one under here, because I'm sure we might.
Oh, here we go.
Give it a shake.
Shake
yeah,
it,
that
shake
sounds full. I did think mine. Yeah, there's nothing in mine. So let's use this one, and then we're just going to bring some green into the mix now. So let's just paint some green on there. This one I'm using is our sage, and then I'm going to use our moss as well. So the moss is a bit of a darker one.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
You know, obviously you've talked about the emboss and the deboss.
Yep.
When might you, in a particular project, purposely use the deboss?
I think it's preference.
Oh, okay.
Some people actually use the deboss all the time.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah. I know people that love the deboss. And if I turn this round, Ben, because what you've got with the deboss, you've actually got that sculptured part where you can go into it, which holds the colour beautifully. So when it's coloured, it looks amazing because it goes inside and it looks more watercoloured than it does coming out. So you get a really nice effect on the deboss. So yeah, I know lots of people that use the deboss
So give both a try then.
Oh, absolutely. I tell you what's a really nice way to give it a try. Do you know when we were putting ink on one side of the folder?
Oh, yes.
Put it on both sides on a white piece of card, and then you see which one you like the best.
Good idea.
Whether you like the deboss, because it goes the opposite way. So it would lay on the ones that are raised on the other side, and then your background would be white.
Yes.
So yeah, you just get a completely different look. So let's just do a little bit more of this, and then we'll start putting our card together. But then we can bring in some darker and put it under that leaf. So we can really use this, our darker colours and lighter colours, to get that shade in, which is amazing. I do love watercolours, and what's better to have a bit of sparkle in your watercolour for New Year's Day?
Why not? We all need a bit of
Little bit of sparkle. Did you wear something sparkly last night, Ben?
Oh, I can only imagine. No, what I normally do New Year is I like to get the old tux on.
Oh.
Last year, so when we celebrated 2020 and 2021, I again shopped the sales. So I've got like a normal tuxedo, but I bought one of the white tuxedo jackets. And it was because obviously last New Year we stayed in.
Well, I was thinking that we wasn't out last New Year.
But we decided as a family to put on our own little New Year's party. So we all got dressed up. Laura got dolled up.
That.
I got my bow tie and my white tux on. And we, because I used to do a bit of DJing and stuff back in the day, so I've still got a load of lights and whatnot and equipment. So we set up our own little sort of party with disco lights and stuff. Got all the food out, you know, like you'd have, and the juice and the Well, not for us, we didn't have the juice, we had the sparkles, obviously. Juice for the kids. And we had a proper old knees up in the house.
Oh, I love that. Just shows you though, you don't need to go out to dress up like that. We did that for Valentine's Day last year. We got all dressed up, yeah, and had a meal indoors, yeah.
I think, do you know what, if you can do it yourself and you're with your friends and family, you don't always have to go out, do you? You can have a great time
not at all.
Indoors, put on your own party.
So bringing that in, can you see we've just really lightened that down, and it's just something that really makes it pop. It's absolutely stunning. And you know how I like my black to really sort of highlight everything. And I always think black is a really good, another good core stock to put in your bag today to get that 20% off extra. The matte black card is incredible for drawing your eye into everything. If you're shadowing a die, if you're matte and layering some sort of pastel cardstocks, black is just beautiful for that. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to matte and layer. We're going to keep this really simple with just a sentiment, because the embossing folder does everything that we need this to do. Again, I thought it would be really nice going into the new year and showing how we can do a beautiful, almost sort of spring-like card, because that's our next thing to look forward to, isn't it? Some nicer weather.
Bit warmer.
Yeah, a bit warmer, absolutely a bit warmer. So we're just going to matte and layer that on the top, and then I've got our beautiful sentiment, which just says thank you. Obviously you can put whichever one you want to, and we're just going to pop that across the front there, and have our beautiful understated watercoloured embossing folder. There we go.
That is phenomenal, and like you said, do you know what? The fact that having that embossing folder there has made you look like a top-level artist who would exhibit their art in a gallery somewhere.
I know.
How phenomenal that this is the kind of thing that you've got the ability to do.
Can I give one more tip as well? If you do go wrong, or you feel like you've not done it very well, or you've got a bit of a shaky hand, or you've not managed to sort of get round the lines, once you've done to this stage, use your gilding waxes to just really lightly go over the top, and it hides all those little mistakes.
There you go. Even more top tips for your New Year's Day. Your 5x7 botanical 3D embossing folders are available for you individually. That is your price. If you're platinum, here's your price, and they're on a multi-buy for you as well. So any two for £12 or $16. Don't forget as well, all of those reasons to shop with us today. The winter sale is ongoing. You'll find lots of deals, not just within this show, but right across the website. And as Debbie was saying, it's a great chance to stock up on all of your core items, things like your cardstock, your paper pads, your adhesives, if you need any tools, plates, those kind of things. And particularly if you are new to us as well, and you're thinking about starting your own crafty stash, when we've got these sales on, it is now a good time to pick up all of those deals. Not only the winter sale, of course, to think about, but two things at the bottom of your screen here, which are applicable just for today. Triple points, which again is amazing. If you're already one of our Club Inspire members, you'll be wanting to pick up as many points as you can to move to that next tier within Club Inspire. If you've just joined us today as a Club Inspire member, which you can do on our website, by the way, again, this is a great way to very quickly move you up the ladder so that you're going to be saving 5, 10, 15, 20% off our prices. And of course, as we've mentioned, that code for you, just type in New Year 22 for 20% off. And don't forget that this is a pre-recorded show, so the stocks and prices were correct at the time of going to press. I was nearly going to say then, but at the time of recording. Right. Now, 3D embossing folders with stencils. I cannot repeat what producer Erin has just said in my ear, but it was a expression of shock and amazement at that.
My Lord, look at that price.
I mean,
wow, I'm not surprised Erin just said that.
Holy guacamole. The 3D embossing folders and stencils, normally $9.99 or $12.95, 70% saving. Hang on a minute, right? A 70% saving, so that's the price. Then if you're platinum, this is the price, £2.39 or $3.10, but you're going to get another 20% off that. So that's going to come down to 46. That's going to come down under two. That's going to be about £1.90.
Can I just say that you would pay $2.99 plus for one stencil?
Yeah. But
that's
you get
ridiculous price.
One stencil, two stencil, three
and an embossing
3D embossing folder.
Yeah.
For under £2 if you're platinum, under $3 if you're platinum, if you use the code New Year 22. That is ridiculous. I thought the deals previously were good. This is the buy of the show.
That is absolutely. I think that's the buy of the year.
Let's go with that because it's the first day. This is the buy of the year.
Buy, buy, buy.
Buy. Don't even think about it. If you've already got these, buy them again and give them to a friend. You've got your beautiful lilies here. And the difference is, Debbie, as I just go through these, again, you've got that technology of the 3D emboss, but then we're able to highlight areas even more by adding the 2 layers of stencils, right?
These are my absolute favourite from last year.
Yeah.
I love an embossing folder and stencils, and these have such a wow factor about them. And honestly, they are super easy. If you just love doing your embossing folders, you've got that embossing folder, but the stencils are amazing. I mean, you can use these on home decor. If you've got some fabric inks, you can use them on your fabric to decorate your cushions, your purses, your bags. You can use them in picture frames. I absolutely adore them. They're beautiful.
And again, do you know what? If you wanted to use them independently of each other, absolutely you could do. But that price today is phenomenal. New crafters, you absolutely need to grab these today because we've sold like hundreds, thousands of these at the price you're seeing on the screen there. I have never seen a 70% saving on these, plus your discount, plus another 20% off if you are if you're going to enter that code today, New Year 22. Wow, that is phenomenal. Plus you'll get triple points as well. You need to get these into your basket. As I say, this is a pre-recorded show, so hopefully all of these stock hasn't already been snaffled up. Get checking right now, because if we have got stock available of these, then you need to be getting them, because that is the deal of the year. Yeah. Let's have a look at these and see how easy they are to work with. I think the thing that we've learned so far, that embossing folders are super craftable, super easy to use. Is this set as easy to use, Debbie, the fact that we've got stencils with them as well?
Can I just tell you, they're probably the easiest ones to use. Yes, absolutely. That's why I love them, because with the ones we just did, where we did the watercolour painting, you have to put that work in to sort of get it to a standard that you want it at. With these, the precision is all through the stencils, which means the stencils make it super easy. I love that you're getting these stencils, and genuinely, that price, I don't think we've ever done something at such a ridiculous price before. So you're getting those 2 stencils, you're getting your embossing folder. Now all I've done is I've used my aqua tint just to give me a really pale background, and you can see I've not done anything flash. I've washed some colour over my cardstock. You could do that whatever you want. All I would recommend is doing a lighter colour so it shows off then your embossing. So we're going to put our folder, again we're going to feel where it is, because I've got white on one side and I've got my coloured on the other, and I do want that embossed detail. So where it's raised, which is this side where my wording is, I'm going to place that over the top, and then we're going to send that through. And again, I'm going to use the platforms that we did before. So we're going to use our plastic shim, our magnetic, with our folder and our card inside, and then we're going to add in our metal shim and our top plate. So nice and easy. And if you haven't followed any of the platform, or you feel like it's gone, now look, isn't that funny? So it didn't like it with the shim, so it took my top plates through and left my other plates. So we're going to take out our metal on that one, which is how I would think the embossing folder is maybe slightly thicker on these ones.
Oh, okay.
So let's just send that through, and the normal platform, which you will find in your user manual of any machines that you've got. If you do have a machine that doesn't tell you how to use a 3D embossing folder, our website, if you go to there, we do have a list on there of all machines and what their platforms are as well. So let's pop them to the side and then open up our folder, so you can see. Now you can't see it very well, but you can see the image there.
Yes,
now normally what we would do, Ben, we would either paint it, we would add some inks over the top, or we'd use our gilding wax and just apply that with our finger. But because we've got these beautiful stencils that look incredible, we can really make these pop out the page. Now, how I always like to explain it, always use your first stencil that's got the most amount of space.
Right.
So this one, you can see, I can see loads of space through that compared to this one. So this would be my second stencil. So all we're going to do, we're going to lock it in place.
Is that a hard and fast rule if you accidentally use the other one? Is it a problem, or?
Well, The thing is, if you use this one, you would then go over the top and take away that detail, because that would cover up the other side of it. So always, and if you do it, like I say, all you've done is wasted a piece of card. Now, if you look where you've done your embossing, this sort of slots into place because it's got that embossed detail. So I'm just making sure that we get that exactly right into there. That's it, and it's all sort of locked into place. Now, if you wanted to, and I will do just to show you, we can use some low-tack tape, and I can just tape that to the edges. So making sure that's in place, you can tape that at the sides, and that will just then keep it in place for you. So, and that one onto there. Just make sure that you don't put your tape where you're going to put your ink through. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to take first of all, what I would also recommend taking 2 of your colour families that layer up onto each other. So you can use, I'm using my pink tulip, and then I'm going to use my fuchsia when I go in with my thicker one, and that will layer the darker colour on top of the lighter colour. And I'm going to do the same with the greens, and I'm going to be bringing in green topaz and smoked emerald as well. And you can see I'm using my pigment ink pads because I want to heat emboss it as well.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, which gives it an even nicer feel. So I'm just going to take my ink daubers, and we're just going to go round that stencil, add in that ink. And now you can see why I've used that light colour in the background.
Yes.
Because I want to be able to go over that colour, because we want our stencil to pop.
What do you tend to do for the rest of your New Year's Day? Do you have like a little thing that you normally do on New Year?
Well,
do you chill or what?
We normally have family. We're normally with family. We normally have a bit of a sort of dinner.
Yeah.
So yeah, but just chill. Yeah. Use it just to. I'm not one for New Year's resolutions. We've not even talked about that, have we? Do you have New Year's resolutions?
I'm with you actually. I resolve to not make any New Year's resolutions.
Me neither. I don't either.
Because I think if you do it on like New Year's Day, because you can, I think if you do it on New Year's Day, I think 9 times out of 10 you kind of end up being disappointed because a week in you've messed it up.
Yeah.
I tend to just not do it, and then if I think of like a little resolution, I do it later on in the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just think you need. But for me, New Year's resolutions force you into something you might not be ready for.
Exactly right.
Yes.
And let's be honest, we want to ease ourselves into the year, don't we? We want
absolutely.
to don't start making commitments on the 1st of January that we might not be able to keep.
The only one I would probably make is I make a New Year's resolution to carry on crafting. Yes.
Good. Well, that's good, because I would hate if you said, my New Year's resolution is to do less crafts. What?
Yeah, like, bye Debbie, you're out the door.
But yes, if you are thinking about New Year's resolutions, don't do anything, too hasty, I would say, Because it's always things with me in the past, I've done things like, it's the usual ones, isn't it? Like, go on a diet or exercise more or whatever, and I think you put yourself under pressure.
Oh, so much.
Do it when you feel ready.
For me, you have to, especially diets, you have to be in the right frame of mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, the 1st of January, where you've had all of the excess and fun of Christmas, and chances are you've still got a freezer and fridge full of goodies to get through.
Do you know what? It's not so much the freezer and fridge full. For me, it's the amount of chocolates and goodies people buy you for Christmas. There's no way you can eat them in a week.
No. I've done it before when I have started a diet on New Year's Day, and like New Year's Eve, you're looking in all the cupboards and going, what? So you just sit there New Year's Eve, like stuffing your face, don't you? And you've put on about 4 pounds that you then need to lose. So, yeah. But good luck with whatever resolution you've got.
Oh, absolutely.
Good luck with it.
Yeah. And I do love hearing people's New Year's resolutions, I have to say. It's just not something I tend to do. So I'm going to take this away. So let's take off our first layer. So yes, that looks nice, but we can make that look better.
I'm sure.
So let's bring in our next stencil. I love that we can get that beautiful detail on there. And then again, I'm just going to find the spot that locks in there. there. So that's onto here. There we go, just there. And then let's pop that back down just to hold that in place. Makes it a lot easier to not need to hold it so firmly. And then we're going to switch to our darker colours. So first of all, we're going to use that fuchsia. So bringing in one of my daubers. If you haven't got the daubers, you should, hopefully they're not out of stock, but you should be able to find them on the website. But another great buy if you're getting that 20% off, because that would make them amazing. So I'm just, and you can see I'm putting quite a lot of ink on here because it's a wet ink. I want to make sure that we keep that wet for the end because we are going to heat emboss it and it's just going to make it pop even more. So let's just, I'm going to speed this up a little bit because we want to get in this before the end.
Absolutely. I'll recap on everything for you. We've got another great show coming up for you tomorrow, which I'll tell you about in just a bit. But the main thing is we've been chatting about the fact it's New Year's Day. If you've got a bit of money still to spend for Christmas or, you know, you just think to yourself, oh, fancy a bit of a New Year's Day sale. You've got our winter sale across the website right now. And that code at the bottom of your screen is one you definitely must use today. If you buy anything today, you need to use that code because if you don't, you'll be missing out on an extra 20% off on top of whatever discount you already get, plus triple points for today only as well. Bit of a New Year's celebration here at Crafters TV. As I say, this show got about another 5 minutes or so, but do make sure you come back, check the web, have a good look around, check those deals and stock up. And if you are new to crafting, it's your New Year's resolution to start a new hobby and this is it. Welcome to Crafters TV. We are here every day of the year and we'll be back to our full service in just a couple of days' time, 3 shows a day, and that is phenomenal.
I know, look how beautiful
already
that looks. And then what we're going to do, we're going to use our clear embossing powder, yes. Yep. We're just going to pop that over the top, and because we've used that pigment ink, it means that it's going to give us this beautiful glossy detail when we heat it up. So let's grab our heat gun and give that a heat. So always a lovely way to do this. If you don't have your pigment inks, then just use your quick drying. They look just as lovely. Or you could even use your water reactive, and you could actually add some sort of splodges on there, sort of faux bleaching, which would look really pretty. So just heating that up, and this is going to give us a beautiful shine. Looks even nicer if you do the triple embossing, and it looks like the whole thing has just got dew all over it. It's
so triple embossing again, so you literally do what you're doing now, and then go straight back in again with another
embossing
powder and go again.
You just need to make sure that it's still warm, because then while it's still warm, it's still wet, and it means that the embossing powder will stick to it. But yeah, it's just a beautiful way of being able to just do another effect, but like you say, get that beautiful effect. I mean, how else would you manage to do this unless you are an artist?
Oh yeah, exactly right. Not a chance.
Yeah, which is amazing. So all we're going to do, we're going to take some cardstock, we're going to matte and layer that on.
Ooh, you can really see that embossed, particularly on the leaves, and you just wiggled it then.
Yeah, just go, look at that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Now, I didn't do that on my finished one, so I'm going to bring that in only because, so this is done with the quick drying, and we're just going to quickly matte and layer our card together, because time, where has this hour gone?
Well, I know this hour's flown by. I think we're used to our hour and a half and 2 hour shows.
Yep,
so the hour just feels like we've only just got started. We
yeah,
just warmed up.
I'm like, I want to show you so much more. But you know what? We've got the whole of 2022, and we hope that you can all join us throughout that, because it's going to be a good one.
Absolutely. If last year's anything to go by, then yes, 2022 is going to be amazing. And as I said, we are here every single day. Back tomorrow with another pre-recorded show, and then from the 3rd of January, we're back to our regular service.
Oh, I nearly put that on the wrong way then.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh. So let's pop that on there, and that one on there. And then all I'm going to do is finish that off at the bottom, nice and easy, with a beautiful bow. And there we go. We've got our beautiful embossed card with lovely cardstock, and nice and quick. There we go.
Fantastic. And I've loved that, an hour-long masterclass where hopefully you've seen the benefits of having embossing folders in your crafty stash, whether it is 3D embossing folders with stencils, whether it's 3D embossing folders on their own, standard embossing folders, cut and emboss folders. We've shown you a huge amount of the range right here, but there's more for you. There's more for you on the website as well. If you shop the show, you'll see lots of other items that we didn't get to. You'll understand why. It's only an hour, but we brought you our favourites. And remember, if you love the 3D embossing folders and stencils collection, this is the deal of the year so far, where you're getting 70% off the collection, or per item. You're then going to get your saving wherever you are within Club Inspire. So if you're platinum, another 20%, that comes down to £2.39 or $3.10. And of course, you can use that code. If you have just joined us towards the end of the show, that code is valid for today. We're celebrating the fact that the new year is here, 2022. Whatever you do, if you shop with us today, when you get to checkout, use that code, New Year 22, and you'll get an extra 20% off what you would already get off your normal discount. Also, this little badge down here is important, triple points. That is relevant for today as well. So wherever you shop for, whatever you buy, you'll get triple points. And again, that will help you with your Club Inspire to get more of those discounts as well. And as much as you need to shop the show, make sure you shop the whole web as well, because our winter sale continues. Lots and lots of great deals available for you. And again, a great way to get ready and get stocked up for the new year. And if you are new to us, if you're brand new, first of all, welcome. And secondly, do have a good look around the website. Get all of those core items that you need to get your crafting off to a bang for 2022. Just to remind you again, this was a pre-recorded program. So make sure you do check the website for prices and product availability. And we've got another pre-recorded show for you tomorrow as well. Another hour show with myself and Bernie. It is a softer side special edition with a little bit of a, treat that Bernie's got up her sleeve. I shall say no more than that, but absolutely worth tuning in for. And we must just say happy birthday to Bernie, because it is her birthday today. Debbie, thank you so much.
Oh, Happy New Year. Mwah.
Happy New Year.
Mwah. Happy New Year.
Mwah. Mwah. Have a great rest of your day today. And as I say, come back to us. See us tomorrow. Bernie will be here for Softer Side of Life. Bye for now.